folks, and welcome back to Concilium Watch. I'm Austin,
I'm Nathan.
And I'm Jonathan.
and we are doing our giveaway results and Q&A for our 1,000 subscribers. And we want to once again thank you for the 1,000 subscribers. You guys rock. Make sure you stick around to the end of the video because that's when we will do our drawing for the winner for the free SWC box that's in production. That is in production.
Yes.
Yes, I'm still surprised that 1,000 people are giving eyes to our videos or more. Yay!
Hey, it's pretty sweet. And
Dude.
I know. We started late August, and now we're at 1,000 subscribers. So happy!
Yeah, less than a year.
I continue to be flabbergasted.
One thing to mention about that contest, by the way, make sure you try to contact us either on Facebook using our page that we have for Concilium Watch, or if that doesn't work, we can message in the comments of this video and figure something out.
But regardless, the Facebook link will be down in the description.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get on with our questions. I'm excited to answer all the dirty questions.
Yeah, let's go.
Oh, Jesus. All right, so UA Doom has 2 questions for us. Let's see here. Number 1, how have you found Tabletop Simulator experience compared to in real life games? And have you been painting your models more or less since playing on TTS? I don't want to answer this question. This feels targeted.
I find Tabletop Simulator... I hate the random number generator. My dice work wonderful for me. Because I have metal dice for armor saves. I have plastic dice that roll for attacking. They work well for me. A random number generator is a good way to get diced. So it's fun, but it's not as close as it can be.
I mean, in all technicality, a random number generator is supposed to be the most fair, but we all know that there's bugs and weirdness in codes every once in a while that can lead to some strange happenings where someone will just constantly roll really, really poorly. But that's how dice tend to work. It's the randomness of it. I haven't found that aspect to be, per se, annoying. More so, TTS for me has been an interesting, change of pace. It's less tactile, which the tactileness of miniature war games tends to be a big driving factor to people getting into them. So the lack of that is strange, and the exactness of everything, because you can measure so exactly, kind of leads to a more cutting edge kind of way of playing, which isn't going to necessarily fly as much unless you're playing against that guy in real life. Just because measurements, eyes, tape measures, and whatnot can just be off every now and again.
Yeah.
Not to mention, you can't... Go ahead.
I was saying, it's also because you can get better angles on TTS. Like, can I see this? And you can put up the silhouette really easily. Yeah. Where
you can...
You're really trusting your opponent. Be like, there's no way you can see that, or can I see that? You might have to move an actual piece of terrain. Be like, I've got to move this right quick just so I can see.
That's a plus to TTS. But another minus in that regard actually is getting some lines of sight can be really harrowing to try to maneuver the camera around to try to get it.
Yeah, sometimes the camera likes to fight
very much
against you. I will say that my main takeaway from this whole tabletop simulator experience is I've been just so amazed at how much you can connect with people all over the world. I've been playing a lot of tabletop simulator tournaments through this time, and it's been so cool to talk to people and play against people in other metas that I probably never would have met before if not for this, which is kind of insane. And so for that, it's been a really cool experience.
I think you've been the only one of the 3 of us really hammering into that aspect of TTS, because I have a full-time job that drains me incredibly. Austin has a job that takes him away from his house a lot. So we're usually drained, but I think it's cool that you've been able to have that experience.
Yeah, working from home has helped me be able to sort of engage with the tabletop simulator community a lot better.
I don't know what working from home is.
I've never heard of that.
Which kind of leads into the second question. I I don't have energy to play things very much all the time. Painting. Let's not talk about this right now.
We get on his case all the time because we keep on telling him he's got 2 Magariba on his shelf that are calling out to be painted.
Hey, one of them has paint on her.
I don't think primer counts.
It's more than primer. Airbrush. Stuff.
My painting has been in spurts. I was like really strong at the beginning of the pandemic, and then I kind of like broke away from it because I have to be dad.
Yeah.
And then I've recently picked up the brush again. I'm finishing up all of my Merovingia. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're looking great, by the way.
Oh, thank you so much. But it comes in spurts for me. Like I'll get really delved into it for about a week or two, and I can get like 5 to 6 models done, and then I'll be like, "Oh, all right, I gotta stop."
Yeah,
perfectionism is annoying.
I will say that I have definitely painted. I think I'm similar. Like I'll have like a week where I'll paint something every day, and I'll feel really great. But then it's really hard for me, like you were mentioning, the tactileness of being in person to play. That's a big motivator for me to paint things. And you can always post pictures of models online for internet points, and that feels good, but there's nothing that compares to like painting a model, sticking it on the table, and then of course getting crit to death instantly. Like the
painted model syndrome.
Yeah. I will say that,
or it
like,
does a great job for you and be like, I put all that work into it and it took out a Kamau. Yes.
It's just that I think playing in person is the biggest factor that influences me to paint. So I have gotten a lot done over the pandemic, but it's definitely not as much as I would like. I'll say that.
One of these days, I'm just going to buy a whole bunch of the 3D markers with art on them from Arsenal and just be like, there.
How dare you? All right. So Josh Bowser, that's a great last name. Like in the list building videos, you rarely use more than 3 SWC. Why is that?
That's all on you.
I think it might be directed towards like my Starmata vid, maybe.
Maybe.
Well, Ariadna as a whole has a big. You can make a really competent list in Ariadna and a very good list in Ariadna that doesn't use all of your SWC because you want to play to the strengths that Ariadna has, which is camo, and some of the better camo units don't have SWC attached to it. Dog Warriors, which is a big factor for any Ariadna sectorial, has no SWC at all. So you don't necessarily need and especially in Ariadna where your link team is usually one really good piece surrounded by order monkeys. Order monkeys very rarely in Ariadna, at least, unless you discount TAC. TAC actually has like missile launchers and sniper rifles, but the Murph USA really don't.
I thought USA does have missile launchers.
Not in the grunt.
Yeah, not on the grunts.
Oh,
they
wow.
do on the AP sniper, but I think it's like half
an SWC.
Yeah, half an SWC for an AP sniper with shock.
Yeah. I think the other thing is, like, in my case with, like, Starmata and some of the Pano lists that I make, I will say that I use more SWC in Pano than maybe in Starmata. I just think that nowadays there's so many good weapon options that don't cost SWC. Like we've got the multi-marksman rifles now, and that doesn't really cost much. And then there's like I'm almost always trying to bring Hector, who's got a plasma rifle, and that doesn't cost SWC. And I just think that like you were saying, Austin, there are some very good units in this game that don't need SWC or don't bring like an HMG that still get work done. Like Mark 12 is my favorite Boig to run for in Winter 4. So there's definitely some weapons out there that you shouldn't feel required to spend all 6 SWC. I will say you should probably spend as much of your army points as possible, but SWC is not a requirement.
I mean, from my standpoint, I haven't made a video yet, but the armies I tend to play are Hawk and Nomads and Chisvasti. And they're going to run it out really quick, but a lot of their profiles that are big hit pieces, like the Azrael, like the Mukhtar with Red Fury, are all super SWC heavy. I mean, not heavy, but they're standard. Like they're going to actually pay for what they have. Not to mention, I don't want to spend 1 SWC and then Aguacile Lieutenant.
Yeah.
But it's definitely interesting to hear you two talk about your SWC kind of usages, where I'm kind of on the opposite spectrum, where I've tried to use them all.
Hey, that's fair too.
I think you've got the profiles with the armies that you do play. With Nomads is very SWC heavy.
Oh yeah, all those hackers.
Yeah, every hacker 0.5.
And every hacker, every Moran.
Don't Dailami also cost 0.5 SWC? The ones that you usually take?
You wish.
They don't? Oh my goodness.
You wish.
The Metros with the Panzerfaust don't either.
Oh my goodness.
No SWC. But the Cheshire Mine Layer is half SWC apiece.
Well, that's fair, though, because I think Mine Layers normally take 0.5 SWC. When they don't, it's a very nice anomaly.
Yeah, I wonder I wonder what anyone like that has. That was poorly worded.
Right. So this question is from Geeko. It says, in any Ariadna army list, how many good boys is too many? 1, 2, all of them? And he's, of course, referring to the Antipode Assault Pack, Strelic K9, Devil Dogs, Mirage Team, etc.
You can never have too many good boys. You can never have too many good boys. You can never have too many good boys. I think because you can always just do that for fun. However, I do think because most of you don't want to oversaturate, and Jonathan, you'll have to help me more on this as the irregular order champ over there. Is playing Hawk Islam is I don't want to oversaturate my order pools with irregular orders. So Devil Dogs, Cameronians, Mirage 5. You don't want too many. I think 2 is a good sweet spot in the amount of good boys, unless they're regular as a whole, like the Strelic K9 is regular.
And the Antipode Assault Pack.
And Antipode Assault Pack, that's regular, but it's got tactical awareness. Always bring the Antipode Assault Pack, okay? Yeah. Just bring it. Just bring it.
Or bring 2.
Or bring 2. Yeah, why not? Why not? But I don't think there's any lit where you can have too many good boys. I think that would terrify an opponent if you brought all the good boys. Like, say, in a vanilla Ariadna list, you can bring every single character and 2, and like all the like Antipode Assault Packs do not count against Dog Warriors. Strelic K9s do not count against Dog Warriors, and Carmen Johns does not account against Dog Warrior count.
Can Carmen be brought in vanilla? I don't think she can.
Yeah, she may not.
She's only in TAC, I believe.
Yeah.
You're probably correct.
I should know because I always want to bring Carmen and Vanilla Hawk, and I can't, so it always makes me sad.
I know, but it's so good.
But honestly, from my perspective, Just to throw that out there really quick. You can get away with like 2 to 3 regular orders per pool. So take that for what you will.
Yeah, definitely. I will say I actually saw in a recent tournament that I was in, I was watching someone play, and they brought a McMurrow and 2 Cameroonians, and he just coordinated them all the way across the board, and it was really scary.
Oh, that sounds evil. I love it.
Yeah.
But did you know, Nathan, that you can bring 3 Cameronians and McMurrough in Caledonia?
Yeah, that's another option. That's making the most of that command token, that's for sure.
Jesus. There will be smoke everywhere. All right. Our next question from Guinea Hog. His question is, how often do you participate in Infinity tournaments? Maybe you're involved in some online events like Ball SC's League. Nathan?
Nathan?
Yeah, I'd say that I try to join in as much as I can. It got kind of crazy the past couple weeks because I was the Pan-Oceania leader in the Vol SC League, and then I was also participating in the Random Access League, and then I was also playing a different tournament for a different game, and it was just like, it was a lot, I will say, but yeah, honestly, like I said in the beginning of the video, like I really enjoy meeting new people and, you know, communicating with the people that I talk with on Discord all the time. It's really cool to like hear their voice and actually talk, not face to face, but computer to computer. After knowing these guys for so long by their username, right?
Mm-hmm.
You ever think to take a moment to breathe?
Yeah, and it's been a lot of fun. I definitely have participated in the past 2 Vol SC narrative leagues. That was a lot of fun, and then I've definitely started joining into the Random Access League tournaments more now because D has finally gotten to me after pestering me and asking me for so long. Love you, D.
Fair enough. For my part, I haven't really done anything online, and I've only done the local tournaments because, man, my job loves me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So much.
Same here. Same here.
We've had a couple fun local tournaments though. I think we've done 2 over the course of the pandemic with like outside social distancing.
Yep, it's been 2.
Yep, 2.
Yeah,
both times.
I can't remember. I've had 9 concussions, guys. I can't remember yesterday.
Both times I brought nomads. Both times it felt like a mistake. I should just play Hawk. It seems to resonate with me much more.
All right.
This one's from Derek Knoll. What is the best starter army and why? Nathan, I'm going to start with you.
Okay. Well, for me, I will say the best starter army is the one you think looks the coolest. Like, 100%. Like, you're not going to want to play a game if you don't like the look of the models.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that's really awesome about Infinity is that it's pretty balanced overall, and you can succeed with basically any army as long as you're willing to put in some effort. And like sometimes there will be an army that doesn't really fit your playstyle, and that's okay, but you can always turn an army into your playstyle by playing in a non-conventional way.
Yeah, that's pretty much the correct answer, honestly.
But in this case, so the best starter army, so what would be in the ones that you play the easiest to get into? So the best starter army be like, so if somebody's just getting into Pano, they want to play Pano, but they don't know where to start, what would be the best army to get into?
I mean, the easiest thing to do is always going to be playing vanilla or Code 1, because that way you get a feel for the game, you start with some basic rules, and you don't have to worry about learning fire teams, which can be, like, fire teams are a really powerful tool, but they're also one of the biggest pitfalls for people who first start out. I cannot tell you how many times when I first started playing Infinity that my entire fire team got annihilated by one missile launcher. It's just so it's when you're controlling one unit at a time, it's a lot easier to focus and make the most out of them. But when you're having to sort of babysit for other people who you're trying not to die when you're trying to get something accomplished, it is a powerful tool, but it is also difficult for some newer players to get
Right.
their heads around.
And unfortunately, the Code One answer doesn't cover every army that currently is in Infinity. We're getting two more in August, which is awesome. So I think eventually the Code One answer is going to probably be the best answer. Look at what you think is coolest, start with Code One, and go from there. As it currently stands, for the armies that we do not have in Code One and we know aren't going to be in Code One yet, it's still look at what's coolest and probably dip your toes into vanilla. Some vanilla armies either A, just don't work quite as well, and you might get frustrated. When you feel yourself getting frustrated at that point, if you still like the look of the models, maybe start sectionalizing yourself into the sectorials and seeing which ones you like better, and then start learning those rules, and maybe you'll find better results in the sectorials. If you just really start liking vanilla, like I do with Hak Islam and Nomads, you're just going to end up collecting everything anyway. And it's really just going to be play what you want, play what you like, and beat your head against the wall until you find success. That's what I did.
See, I'm on the opposite end of that spectrum where I would not recommend vanilla to a new player, because it's like you had said before to me, Nathan, is sectorials let you learn what you're good at, while vanilla exploit weaknesses of your opponent. And I think it's easier for the average player, not like super hyper aggressive, I'm going to win everything, and you have like that type A mentality of I'm going to win, but the average person, it's much easier to figure out what you're good at than trying to find a weakness to every other army that you're going to be playing against. Find out what you're good at and what your sectorial is good at. I don't recommend vanilla to new players. I say pick a sectorial, learn how to play it. Yes, fire teams can sucker you and can ruin days because of a single missile launcher or heavy rocket launcher and destroy your whole fire team. But this is Infinity. You have to learn through pain, and you're going to lose a bunch to begin with.
That's fair.
I feel called out. For the heavy rocket launcher comment.
You destroyed everything.
I may or may not have used a hollow projected Havza to destroy your full fire team. I do not apologize.
Neither here nor there. One final point I will just make is that I do think that when you jump headfirst into a sectorial, you can feel trapped because you've got a bunch of units that can only work in one army, and if that one army isn't working for you, you can feel like, oh, what have I done? I've spent all this money, and I keep losing, and I'm not having fun. So if you feel like you could get trapped in that situation, maybe if you start with a sectorial, you could go into vanilla and start collecting some other things. That way you don't have to jump full into a brand new sectorial. You can use your old models and then play vanilla by adding in new models as you eventually purchase them, and then maybe move into a new sectorial.
And this is why Hakasam is the best, because everyone plays together very nicely.
Right, this way together.
All right. So Geek of All Trades says, this is for each of us. What is our least favorite faction or sectorial, and why? And what is our favorite, and why?
Pano is my least. Pano, because I have to lean into the meme, because I've already turned myself into that kind of person by being the person who's always angry at Pano. So I must lean into this meme no matter what.
Pano was a mistake.
See what
I'm gonna give it,
guys.
I'm gonna give a serious answer. I don't have a least favorite faction / sectorial. I don't. I think they're all great. I think they all have good presence on the table, good power, and everything. I think if I had to nail down a least, it might be Varuna, only because I'm salty, and because I think the Kamau is a very powerful piece for defensive purposes. But everything can be beat. Everything can win.
Yep.
So I cannot, with pure honesty, say I have a least favorite.
Least favorite. I have a least favorite to play against.
Is it Varuna?
No, it is not Varuna. It is Toha.
Oh.
It is Toha, and the reason why it is Toha is because I don't want to be responsible for my actions, Toha, with my symbiomates.
Yeah.
Symbiomates aren't that powerful now.
I don't know, man. Like, I will say that my least favorite faction or sectorial is definitely Toha for basically the same reason. I honestly, like, every time I face Toha in like a tournament, I do get pretty lucky. I've crit many symbiomates off the table in N3, and I've also gotten pretty lucky taking out symbiomates in N4 as well. But just the fact that, and like, when you compare the cost of a Toha unit to another unit, which you shouldn't do. I always say you shouldn't do. You shouldn't compare cross faction. But I just think that having a bunch of light infantry people with 2 wounds, quote unquote, potentially 3 if you account for the symbiomate, taking a bunch of armor saves, I don't know. It feels less fun. And I think the main thing that I dislike about Toha is that I keep seeing the same builds over and over again. And maybe that's just because they haven't been getting releases lately. But I just keep seeing the same units over and over again. And I've gotten tired of playing against that same list.
I can actually agree with that sentiment. I think any faction that starts feeling stale is going to end up not as great. I get where you guys are coming from with Toha. I like Toha. I'm not allowed to play them because of somebody I know.
You're welcome.
But I don't think they're as bad as you guys say, and that's only because Nathan killed me with fire for one of my very first times playing Toha, and he should feel ashamed for himself.
Hey, I mean, fire doesn't even work against Toha anymore. They took away
Anymore.
Yep. So then your favorite faction. What's everyone's favorite?
Hakislam.
Ariadna.
Pano all the way for me.
Yeah.
Pano, number 1, always.
But the reason why I like Hakislam is it is just a playstyle that I think resonates with me more. It's very tricky. It can get around corners. It can get around places and things and stuff that your opponent's trying to do a lot easier, which is why I actually was, at the beginning of N4, really down on vanilla until recently when I started actually knuckling down and looking at vanilla Hakislam and all the things they can do, because they can do so much.
Mm-hmm.
And like was said in the previous answer, vanilla is trying to capitalize on your opponent's like the holes in their defense, the mistakes, the weaknesses that they have, and capitalizing on it. And I think no vanilla faction currently does it better than Hawk. I think there's a couple of other very good vanilla factions in the game, but they don't have that same playstyle of manipulating weaknesses. For example, like vanilla Yu Ching, put all the heavy infantry on the table and go nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I also do think that vanilla Yu Ching is very strong.
That's true, too. Yeah.
Favorite faction, Ariadna, and that's mostly because I don't have to worry about hacking. Hacking is a mistake. And I like coming from a military background. It fit me more is why it's my favorite. It's more realistic to me.
Yeah, I've always felt that you've really resonated with Ariadna as a whole.
Oh, definitely.
For me with Pano, I think this is my first ever war game, so it's not like I'm coming from a position where it's like, oh, I see the blue Space Knights and I think Warhammer or something like that. It really is like, I think part of it is blue has always been my favorite color, and I have always been drawn to the look of Pano. I know everyone jokes about our heavy infantry being the same, looking the same, but I've always just really loved the look of the double antenna, like bunny ears on the side of the helmets. And for me, it's just I think that Pano is a really fun army to play because we have so many sectorials, we have so many units, and it's a lot of fun to take the characters that some people dislike and try to prove them wrong by playing them on the table and having a lot of fun with them.
I just Pano characters could be better though. They could be better.
It is fair, but what I will say is that like Pano as in general, I just love their look and their feel and their lore, and I love having a rivalry with Yuching, where they're constantly in second place.
Yeah. And I was constantly in second place, you mean?
Nah, that's not how it works at all.
The long yaw says differently.
All right. I have no words. This question's from David Martin, and it's for you, Austin.
Oh, yay.
Have you ever tried running a vanilla Ariana list using just French and US profiles? If so, how was it? If not, any thoughts?
I have not thought about it. However, when I first originally saw this question, I decided to make a list for it, and and it turned out okay. Obviously, you're going to bring the thoughts. Is you're going to go back to in 3 days, and you're going to bring your 2 Cheshire Mine Layers and your 2 Foxtrot FOs.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Brigadier Bruant is a great supplement. Since you can't take Usha, I would definitely substitute Jacques Bruant in there. Just putting a Mirage 5 in there is going to be just detrimental to your enemy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Briscards are good ARO pieces with their MSV1. And of course, because it's US Ariadna, you can bring the Unknown Ranger, and the Unknown Ranger is ungodly good.
He's really good. He's really good.
Yeah, so that's and not to mention the Metro Panzerfaust, the camo Metro Panzerfaust.
Mm-hmm.
Those are fantastic.
Yeah.
I would definitely give it a try, and I am absolutely willing to bring that list I made to the table.
Yeah, maybe you'll see it in a battle report at some point.
Maybe.
Oh, that's going to be happening in the next one. Watch.
It'll be funny to watch you play vanilla because you don't really play vanilla very often.
I don't play vanilla very often. All right, this next one is from Alex Cordanowi. I hope I didn't butcher that too bad. If I did, I'm so sorry.
Cordanowi?
Cordanowi? Yeah, I'm going to go with that. All right. Question: Who is number 1 and why is it Pano? Shame on you.
How dare you fill us with that propaganda, sir?
Man after my own heart.
You get to design the next NA2 army. Pick 2 sectorials and or Merc medium infantry to be the main lineup. Faction overview or army briefing on Drew's win.
Well, that last one's all on you, Nathan.
Yeah, that last one's on you. We're going to give that one to you for the Drews.
Sure, I'll answer that real quick. This is actually a good opportunity to let people know our mindset when it comes to making these faction overviews. So when we make these faction overviews, when you upload a video to YouTube, you can't really edit it after it's already up. So we want to make as high quality content as we possibly can for you guys. And part of that is we want to include painted miniatures for the pictures so that any new player or existing player that's looking to get into a new faction, they can see the profile and they can see the new model and because honestly, that might be the deciding factor for some people. So it is tough sometimes when there aren't models that are released. Like specifically for Drews, we've really been waiting on Wolfgang, and I'm really hoping he's coming out soon. But it doesn't seem like it's in the next month or so.
Perhaps in
But
August.
what I will say is that because it's just one guy, one unit, we have all the other units for Drews. I could consider putting in a faction overview. But I will say I'm definitely going to make an army briefing for these guys pretty soon because Drews are a lot of fun. I've had a lot of fun with them.
To kind of jump off of that, Nathan, it's funnily enough, it kind of ends up being a good thing that we wait for these painted models. Because, for instance, I've been wanting to do an overview on Shazvasti. And the whole time it's just like, we're waiting on Dukash, we're waiting on Dukash, we're waiting on Dukash. In the time between me wanting to do it and Dukash finally having a painted mini, we got a bug fix for boarding action Shishkin.
Yeah.
And could you imagine doing an overview and then all of a sudden this thing changes that can completely change how you would bring a single model?
That
so
is true.
I think with how N4 had been released and is still kind of in its proto like new phases where things are still changing and being fixed and whatnot, I think the waiting thing is ending up being a pretty good thing because these changes can suddenly come out and then, oh no, this everything is just completely out of whack and this information is completely wrong now and needs to be changed and how are we going to do that and blah 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 blah. But yeah.
Yeah, I think we're definitely making these faction overviews slow and steady, but we hope we've gotten a lot of really great feedback about them, so we really appreciate that you guys are enjoying the videos we are putting out.
Now, for the design the NA2 army, me and Jonathan discussed this way back when N4 first started, where Kapu Kelki and Murph come together as one.
Okay.
Yeah. That's been the thing that has been talked about. Personally, a lot of my thoughts are also with Ariana and Hakasam, but I want a faction or NA2 with all the bikes. I want the Coom Riders, I want the Sisters, I want Desperados and Mavericks.
Oh
and
my goodness, biker
if I'm allowed, I'll take the TAC ones that I can't remember the name of right now.
The Dynamos?
Yes, the Dynamos. I just want all the bikes. I want them all in a sectorial because I think it would be awesome.
Could you imagine a Harris of bikes?
I can.
That would be ridiculous.
That would be hilarious, though.
At least they'd lose their impetuous, but it would be pretty crazy.
It would be really crazy.
Have a Maverick can join any fire team of Dynamos.
I think for me, with the next NA2 army, I'm always going to want more Pano. So my idea is take NCA and mesh it with OSS. Because we do get a couple Aleph units in some mercenary forces. And you could argue that it doesn't make sense for Aleph to be involved in mercenary forces, but it would be kind of cool to see like a very high-tech mercenary force with the best shooters that Pano can bring and also the technical support from Aleph, as well as for a Merc medium infantry, I would definitely Drews, and they work with Pano a lot in the lore actually.
Your dreams are my nightmares.
And you have all the Pano. Foreign Company uses Pano units. Hikari uses Pano units.
Most of the Merc companies use our drones.
Yes.
I will say that, we've got plenty of representation for Pano in NA2, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to ask for more.
That's fair. That's fair. I really just want an Ariadna-based NA2 army. I would love that.
I want a Hawk-based one that isn't the shot.
I guess Kapukelki used to be the Hawkberg army, but then it's sort of meshed a
Yeah.
little bit.
That's what I'm saying. You need to take away everything in Kapukelki. I want you to take away all the Nomad units and replace them with Murph units.
That would be pretty interesting.
Could you imagine Azrael with Mirage 5?
No thanks.
No thanks.
Mirage 5 shouldn't be in any NA2. It's not. That thing's an abomination.
I agree with that.
How dare you?
All
right.
Jonathan.
Nathan, that's you.
Oh, it's me? Okay.
Yeah.
So, what armies or sectorials do we play in Meat Space in real life?
From Patrick Gordon.
Yes.
Hawk, Nomads, and Shazvasti. And Vanilla Combine sometimes when I'm feeling proggy.
All right.
Ariadna, all the Ariadna, all the Yuching, and Morats because 300 meets Planet of the Apes.
For me, it's every sectorial in Pano. Then I play Druze and all of O12 as well. I also have Foreign Company. So those are the ones I play in person.
Pretty basic bitch answers.
Oh, come on.
All right, from M&S Games, his question is, what would we say is the model that made us want to play Infinity? For him, it was the Salamandra. Salamandra is a great model.
It is.
I started playing Infinity before the new one came out, so I can't use that answer.
The model that got me
first.
the model that got me was William Wallace. I was in El Paso, and Jeremiah was teaching me the game. It was like, yeah, because he was like showing me some models of his Morats at the time, and he's like, yeah, there's a whole bunch of sectorials, and like they've got Scotsmen. I'm like, wait, they've got drunken Scottish people in space? Like, yeah, it's headed by William Wallace. I'm like, show me the picture now, and it was downhill from there. And now I've deep dived.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's fun.
For me, it was actually a bunch of years ago, right before college. I was just wasting my life that summer waiting to kickstart the next section of my life. And I was just watching YouTube, and I happened to stumble across just war games in general. I had gone the entirety of my childhood not knowing anything about this stuff. I did not know anything like this existed. And when I saw it, I was like, oh my goodness, they're like playing XCOM in person. And so what I did is I was absolutely hooked. I was looking online for everything, and I was trying to decide between all these factions. Like, I thought Nomads looked really cool. I thought Pano looked really cool. And I decided, look, I can't decide. So I'm going to find the nearest store, which was an hour away, that has any of these models. And I said, whatever one I see looks the absolute coolest, that'll be my faction. I went over there, walked up, and I saw the Father Knight Spitfire, the old Father Knight Spitfire, and I was immediately like, yep, this is the one. And that was the first miniature I ever bought or painted, and that's what started it all.
Could you imagine a universe where Nathan plays Nomads?
That would be terrifying.
So my answer is pretty long-winded because I've been playing miniature war games since I was in middle school for the most part, off and on. It really took off when I was in high school going into college, where I was playing a lot of 40K. What got me into Infinity was I was actually watching a lot of YouTube videos, much like Nathan, because I get bored when I'm doing things. I watch videos. I'm an idiot. What got me first into wanting to try the game was watching GMG and him playing Toha. It wasn't the power. It wasn't the fact that he was always winning. It was just the look of the models. I really liked them. When I first started actually buying into minis, I bought Nomads. Specifically, the models that got me in there were definitely the Intruder and the Interventors. And then the things that kept me going for the most part was the old Shazvasti. I never bought them because my brother was always like, no, I'm playing Combine. Play something different, damn it. I'm just like, I hate you, you bastard, but you're a Marine. Kick my ass. but I never got into them until finally when he got out of playing games, and I was just like the resculpts came out, they're all gorgeous, and then Hawk came in the middle of that because I really wanted Yu Ching at the time, but Hawk ended up just being the perfect fit for me. I love the models. I think they're all gorgeous. I actually have a painted Ayar, and I think he's a gorgeous model. He's not the Desperado one. He's the Shock MMM one. But like, I just collect models. I love the Marut, even though I sold it because I need to stop buying minis. Love the Avatar. I love the minis of Infinity. I think they're all gorgeous, and that's what's kept me buying minis. I have a problem. Please save me. All right. Oh, geez.
Is this one mine?
No, it's mine. Right. I'm going to say that your name is pronounced Thresh Prince.
Nice.
Because I speak internet language too. But for the question, all he wants to know is where all the other Secretarial videos are. We answered this question, kinda.
Yeah, we did. They are coming. They're coming soon. Can't say exactly when the next one will be, but maybe in the next week or so.
Yeah, so some of us.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Go ahead. Some of us have a full-time job that likes to knock us flat on our bottoms, and just we have a lot of things that are always coming up, be it just a lot of personal stuff that I'm not going to put forth into this video.
Yeah.
The other one, like the ones that some of these we cannot speak with authority on just yet, and so we have to learn them a little bit.
That is true.
I've got to learn how to say or to find somebody to do them who also has full-time jobs.
Yeah.
I'm currently trying to learn how to say all of the units from JSA.
I can help you with that. Here,
I mean,
hang on.
Just listen to me talk. Listen to me talk. I said Martiwa on the live thing.
That was a classic.
Hang on, it was a classic. Here, repeat after me. O yorai kiro butai.
No.
Yeah, I will say that it is a matter of waiting for painted models, but also, like Austin said, we really try to put a lot of quality, and we like to know what we're talking about so that people don't, we want to help, we don't want to hurt. So we do a lot of like playtesting and research before we make these videos.
Some of us just get bored and research armies that they don't have and find, oh, hey, they're really cool, and then buy them and then never play with them or paint them and then end up selling them because they have a problem. Not calling anyone out, especially not myself.
All right, this next question is from Legate, known as Legatus. That's an awesome Scream name. Go you. What is a good filler unit for O12 and Starmada? Nathan, this is for you, my friend.
I'm actually wondering what he means by filler unit.
Well, I think he probably means like when you've got your main hit pieces, what do you fill after that? So I think it's very similar for O12 and Starmada. It's actually similar for most armies. Your filler unit is going to be a flash pulse bot, right? That's going to be the cheapest way you can get a regular order. It's a great utility piece because you could just run it forward and detonate mines. It can extend your repeater network. It's all around a really great piece. But for units, for some armies like Starmada, you only get one. So some people can feel trapped and they're like, what do we do at this point? So for me, at least in all of my Starmada lists, almost all of them, I usually bring one Kuta, which is the flash pulse spot, and one of the baggage bots. Forget what they're called.
Mule bots.
No, they're not
the
mule
Pano
bots.
one.
Oh yeah, that's Pano.
They're called
Fuzzbots.
Fuzzbots, exactly. Yeah, I was trying to think of all the police slang. Yeah, so just bringing one Fuzzbot, it's not going to do much, right? It's not, I mean, it doesn't have a weapon. If you bring the cheapest deactivator profile, it's not a mine layer or mine
Minesweeper
anymore. But the main thing is it's also got a repeater, and it can help you in other ways. So if you've got a unit that has mines, you can use it to refill their mines. If you have like a Panzerfaust unit, you can refill that. And for zone control missions, if you have the opportunity to move it into a zone, their baggage contributes 20 extra points than just that 8 points. So it's a great unit in any army to bring. I would say normally go for the flash bots first. Once you run out of that, consider the baggage bots. And then specifically for O12 and Starmada, I think the first thing you're going to fill, if you don't already have max availability of these guys, is the Varangian Guard. Because they're really awesome for their points. They bring utility in smoke and utility in being able to hit things with their axe. And then after that, I would suggest for Starmada to maybe consider Kappas, but also take a look at the glue, the double ADHL blue coat profile, because it's only 13 points, so it's 1 point more than a basic Kappa, and it's got a lot of non-lethal ammunition that you can use to maybe defend your lieutenant, which is a great filler unit, I'd say.
The guts are dope.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That's you.
Is this me? Okay.
Yeah.
So this is Clue. And we've already answered this one, actually. Sorry, Clue. But what are each of our favorite factions and sectorials? I guess let's do a sectorial. What's your favorite sectorial, Jonathan?
Kapukalki.
And Austin?
Caledonia! Freedom!
And for me, I would have to say Varuna.
Of course you would.
I just loved the light infantry sneaking around. All right. Austin,
Richard,
right?
No, man.
Okay.
Richard Larrabee. I don't think I'm pronouncing that one correctly at all. The accent over the E throws me off. The two questions for us. If we could redo any character units to our liking, who would it be? And in our eyes, yes. 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 Real answer, no, but meme answer, yes. Yes, Pano is a mistake. But, he has a PS, actually. One of the Nomad Army Builder guys coming. Here's the thing. I have a week vacation coming up.
Hey.
I might actually just splurge into making videos if I'm not dead. Also, this month...
Don't worry.
Yeah. Also, this month seems to be pretty slow for me. So as soon as my allergies clear up a little bit more, I might find the time to actually start making some videos. So maybe soon, actually, Richard. Sorry It's taken me so long. As for overviews, we're still waiting on some minis like we've said in the past.
Yeah.
But character units, I think I know your answer, Nathan. Let me see if I'm right. What is it?
Konstantinos.
I knew it!
I just love Konstantinos so much. I use him as he is now. Mm-hmm. But imagine if his infiltration profile was kind of like Dart, and if his linkable option was kind of like Richard Quinn. I think that giving Konstantinos a marksman rifle would be extremely cool. And I think giving him camouflage on his forward deploying infiltration profile would basically fix him immediately and make him completely viable to some people. I just really love his backstory, so I really enjoy using him regardless of whether he is optimal or not.
Fair enough. Austin, you go first because I'm looking up the two.
All right. Redo any character units to my liking. Well, my first, you know what? I have two. So my first initial one is Jacques Bruant. Jacques Bruant does not have surprise attack. He has camouflage one use, but he does not have surprise attack. I would give him surprise attack, and I would actually give him Usha's little special skill, infiltration +6. Because If it were me, I'd want Jacques Bruant with an AP Spitfire that has surprise attack. You can keep the camo one use, but I want the surprise attack with the infiltration +6.
Yeah, surprise attack would be really big.
Surprise attack would be huge.
The other one I would do is off of Van Zandt. And I wouldn't change anything I would change one piece of equipment that he doesn't have. I want him to have an X visor.
That'd be sweet.
With his AP rifle, because AP rifle is only good from 8 to 16 inches. I'd like to be able to shoot a little farther than that and still be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My answers are weird because I play primarily Hakislam and Nomads, which are filled with amazing characters.
Yes.
Like, stupidly amazing characters. My very first thought was to change Yazbeer. And the reason was I want to change him from having a hollow projector to having a marker state instead. Because he's a assassin. I feel like it'd be a cooler it'd be a different change for him. Because I don't see why he has the hollow projector, because he has nothing in common with AR, which are famous for having hollow projectors. I think he should either be impersonating or camo personally.
Okay.
The other one, and this is going to turn a lot of heads, is Tariq. But there's only one thing I want for him, and I think it would make him amazing. BS 14 or 15. It's the only thing I want. The only thing I want, because then he gets to be that solo Rambo piece that's really good at shooting, able to take a lot of hits, able to go forward and just mess things up. At BS 13, yes, he can do it, but he's not as effective as some of the super powerful solo type Achilles units that we have in the game, like Achilles and Shishkin.
Yeah. I'd definitely consider giving him BS 14. I think he should probably already have that.
Yeah, especially with how expensive he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair.
Also, Pano is not a mistake. Next question.
Hey! From John Tetzel. What faction do you recommend
For a new player.
For a new player, what faction would you recommend?
We answered this, but
I want to go deeper than this. Because you can go into a faction. Like for me, I would not recommend a faction so much as a sectorial. And if for a new player, from the two that I play, I would absolutely do Invincible Army. Invincible Army has a very low learning curve. The models are easy to get into. They're easy to find. I would definitely do Invincible Army for Yu Ching. And I would recommend USA for Ariadna, actually, because it takes a little bit of time to really know how to work around and work with camo. So that's why I don't recommend TAC, because TAC is so camo heavy. Where USA has the lowest amount of camo units in all of Ariadna. So I would work there and then move on from USA to TAC or to vanilla. Learn how to work with it first.
I'm actually going to take it a step further than you did when you said Invincible Army and just suggest all of Yu Ching. And the reason why is because Yu Ching tends to be a more generalist kind of jack of all trades faction in a sense. And I think that a new player, if they started with Yu Ching, could kind of find their playstyle in Yu Ching, maybe see, okay, I want to go deeper into this. Unless they like the generalist sort of playstyle, then stick with Yu Ching. It's a great army. But you can really dive into different types of playstyles with Yu Ching and really get your toes wet in Infinity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For me, I would probably say I would definitely say Pano, but specifically I would say Varuna, just because they've got the most well-rounded tools that you would need in a basically any mission. And being able to rely on the Kamau sniper to get work done can really help with newer players who might struggle with losing a lot of pieces and getting frustrated with that.
I am disappointed in you.
All right. Pegas says, what are your favorite missions and why?
That's a hard question.
No, I'll take this one first.
Okay.
I'll take
Go
it
for
first. Favorite mission is everybody's least favorite mission is Biotechnophore.
Oh no. Now people are going to tear us to shreds in the comments.
No, the only reason I like Biotechnophore so is because the armies that I generally play with, say, Caledonia and Morats. Those are my favorite two to play for that because Caledonia has lots of dogs that want to move to the midfield, and everything in Caledonia except for Catarans want to move to the midfield and just beat you in the face, and that's exactly what Morats want to do. I think Caledonia is a little bit better suited to it because they have so many dogs and fast movers with the gray rifles being 6'2 movement and Wallace being 6'4. So it's easier to get out of that area. So that's my favorite because of how I like to play.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
I dislike that answer.
It gives the Kamal least options. They only have an 8-inch deployment zone. They can't move up anymore.
I actually have a couple of weird answers. I like Power Pack and Mind Wipe. I've always liked Power Pack. Mostly,
yeah,
I play a lot of infiltration armies, so, or things with impersonation because I'm a horrible person. So the weird whole deployment zones of Power Pack, I really, really enjoy kind of manipulating them, playing around them, or as Nathan knows, putting a Brando Castro somehow right next to all his stuff.
Yeah. Yes.
Because I did that. And I like Mind Wipe because I feel like it's a mission that could be no two games play the same. Just because of the randomness of figuring out where the AI is that you need to destroy, the extra power boost it gives to hackers, especially the Uber hacker that you have to choose, which I think is great because I can go on about how I feel hacking could have been given more in N4. I think Spotlight is a great program that now has a lot more tools, but I like a lot more applications, I mean. But I will always kind of harp that I think Nomads needs a little more oomph with hacking, and Mind Wipe kind of accomplishes that by giving them really dominance over that kind of mission. And those are really my answers. I'm not going to bore everybody with my complaints about hacking.
I think my favorite missions are always going to be missions with panoplies in them, because I absolutely love rolling on random tables and getting cool weapons and taking a kind of okay unit and suddenly they pick up a sniper rifle and it's insane or something like that.
Why don't you play with more booty units then?
I do in Drews. That's one of the biggest things that drew me to them. But
Fair enough. So
for me, I think the armory is a lot of fun. There are complaints from some people that it's one of those missions that turn order can have a lot of effect on.
Yeah.
But even going first on that mission, I've been able to lock down the armory pretty well, and it's really fun to have a clear goal, get your coolest, most durable units into that room, and seeing them fight to the death and hold the line in the very last moment is very exciting for me.
It's very thematic.
Yeah.
Unlike Panic Room, which just gives me agita.
Well, I like Panic Room too, so that's another one.
I like attack and defense missions like looting and sabotaging, and like what you said. I like Power Pack, and I like Power Pack.
Yeah.
Those are all fun missions. I like the attack and defense. You get a more well-rounded list when you're trying to. I've got to protect this and go attack.
That's fair, actually.
Definitely.
Dude, your name is 2 stars.
Yes. Star.
Asterisk.
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 Yeah.
Okay. Of course, I get to be the one to have to read this. Thank you. I appreciate your input. Change your name. Anyway, he has 2 questions. What is our opinion on localized decompression and its effect on game flow? And for myself and Austin, as a fellow ISS player, he finds Mindwipe extremely difficult to play. What would be the advice for a new player from us? Like what profiles to pick and whatnot? I'm gonna answer the first one because I really like localized decompression when we remember it.
Yeah.
Yes, I like it as well.
I think that's the. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think the biggest effect on game flow is stopping halfway through the mission and being like, "Oh, we forgot localized decompression."
Yeah, I think that's its biggest problem is that it is forgettable. We're not used to, as Infinity players, having this other thing to set up. I think in tournaments it's going to be less forgettable because the TAs are going to go around and set everything up.
Of course, yeah.
But they can't set up the localized decompression that I think about it because it's set up by the players going with the person who kept deployment first.
But
so yeah,
just having the 2 having the it's usually 4, isn't it?
It's 4.
Yeah, having the 4 zones sitting there next to the table might be enough to help remember it in person.
That's fair. As for this help with Mindwipe, so Austin and I played a game of ISS versus Vanilla Nomads recently on Mindwipe. And I think the best thing I can say with this is bring your hackers. Bring your hackers. Bring your hackers. Austin didn't bring a hacker. I wanted to slap him.
My hacking is high-powered slugs.
But he did bring one of the profiles that I would like. I will preach you bringing this profile in ISS constantly, and that's the soft attack. She's 6'4". She's not the best in CC, but she does still have the D chargers. So her speed, the fact that she's a doctor, she's courage, she's an engineer, she's NWI, just she can get to the thing you have to blow up and actually do it quite well. Another thing I'm going to bring up when it comes to Mindwipe is something you must always remember when you're getting ready to build a list for Mindwipe. These are not AC2s. They are not high armor. They're actually only armor 4. Bring your DACCWs. They will work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. With ISS having a lack of like D charges and with like double action, like anti-material stuff as a whole, I think you do need to utilize your cranes. I believe, isn't that what we had talked about, the crane agents?
Yeah, because crane agents have DACCWs, they're CC24, they're Fizz 13, and they're martial arts level 3. So they're smacking the thing at like damage like 16, I think.
It's +2. Yeah,
15. Then.
15.
So your opponent needs 11s, and you have an actually decent chance of critting. Yep. And because your crane is a wild card, he can probably have multiple dudes on the server you need to destroy, so that's increasing your burst. So he actually has a really decent chance of destroying the server by himself as well. But those are the things I definitely say to look out for. Bring a hacker if you want. Bring Canron because they're good specialists that are further up the field. Bring a ninja.
Yeah.
Bring a ninja.
Yeah, bring the killer hacker ninja. She's got a DA close combat weapon.
I think ISS has potentially got some really great tools because you've got those midfield killer hackers that are really great, and you can you know they're going to have a important hacker that they're trying to get across the table.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that you guys didn't really mention is the Deva. The Deva is a really great option for your Uber hacker, especially because he or she can join a Dakini Harris. So you can use the Dakini, or the Dakinis can join the Deva Harris, rather. So you can use the Dakini HMG to get your Deva to the midfield, and then once you've cleared the path, use the extra order from your Uber hacker to finish the job.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. especially because Deva hackers, they're WIP 15, so they have a really high chance of just hitting the server.
Yep.
Which could just destroy it in one order. Unfortunately,
you need to play defense the first 2 turns, because ISS is very good on defense, and especially with having the Guangxi just staying, like, just burning all of their impetuous orders and keeping them very close to your servers.
Yeah, honestly, it was a Guangxi that stopped Mary Problems from being able to effectively destroy the server.
Awesome.
And I know we didn't go over it in the overview, but my absolute all-star for that game was Major Luna. Yes. She wrecked FaZe.
I told you she was good.
Great.
She crit my intruder.
Amazing.
She crit the intruder, and he didn't have an intruder anymore. He was like, bye, intruder.
I was really happy about that.
I told you, Major Luna's great.
Yeah. All right, this guy, Blake Guyan. What unit that currently have profiles but no minis are you most looking forward to? He's looking for the double Fuhrbach Karhu.
Ooh.
I'd have to agree there. I'm desperately waiting for Karhu just because I'm itching to make a faction overview for Winter 4.
And he wants to take his Karhu and give it actually 2 Fuhrbachs.
Yes, absolutely. If the official model does not have 2, I will be turning it into 2, no matter what.
Well, mine are then that here in the Sujai. I think they're going to be almost mandatory for Vanilla Hawk and kind of like up there for Assassins. I think you can get away with not playing them in Assassins, but they're just so good for so cheap. They're all specialists of some kind, and they all bring a really, really mean weapon in a Flamen Spear or a Panzerfaust with Mimetism -6. So I really like them, and I can't wait for them to be released.
I'm looking for the death, and that death's name is Bearpode.
Yes.
I want my bear!
Maybe it'll be in the next couple of months. Cross your fingers.
I'm crossing fingers, I'm crossing toes, I'm crossing tongues, I'm doing everything. I want a Bearpode, and I'm actually looking forward to the Volkolak. I am looking forward to the Volkolak. The Volkolak missile launcher, I think, I can't wait to see that model.
I think the Volkolak's really good, and I think you keep overlooking it.
What are you talking? It goes in every single core that I have.
That's totally not what you've been complaining about with me recently.
Hey, we don't say that in front of the. We don't say that here. We're happy. We're always happy.
All right. Well, the Squirrel of Doom, another great name, says, "You want a dirty question? No problem. How big is your pile of shame?"
I played the 5th.
My pile of shame. So I've got about, in total, a little over 200 models, and only Caledonia and most of Murph. So none of my Yuching, all the Yuching things that have come out here in the past, like, since you had all 3 things. All the Bo Rats are not painted. All the Yuching's not painted. None of my USA are TAC, except for things that I absolutely use in my vanilla army. So a bunch. It's quite large.
So I'm going to say this. Everything Austin just said, minus his Ariana, was once mine. So that was part of my pile of shame. I have painted exactly 3 or 4 minis out of all of Hack, all of Nomads, all of Shazvasti, some Onyx, some Vanilla CA, and a couple of other like NA2 things that I have. Some OSS I still have for some reason. It's literally just a pile of unpainted or primed minis with a couple of painted ones. It's probably 500 minis of no paint, and I am ashamed, but I don't care. You can give me all your shame. I'll take it.
We've been trying. For me, I think it's probably more than I even think, to be honest. But I do have most of my pano painted. I will say that.
Yes, you do.
I think that the main things that I have waiting in the pipeline is the new military orders box.
That's going to be gorgeous.
That's going to be one of my next projects. And I have a few tags. I've got all the tags of Pano, but I've not painted probably more than half of them. So that's going to be another big project for me. And I have been in the process of converting up Foreign Company and Drew's models. So those have been Drew's specifically are going to be one of my big projects in the next year. So I think other than that, it's like I have some other models that I've gotten recently, but I don't count them as my pile of shame because I'm not planning to use them at any point anytime soon because I'm just leaving it for it's a future investment. I'll say that.
Hey, yeah.
There's extra here. Which mini spent the most time in your pile?
I'm not going to answer that question. Actually, I don't know if I can answer that question. Probably some of my Toha or my Nomads that I have.
I think I could never answer this absolutely accurately unless I put a lot of effort into looking through all my stuff and figure out what the oldest thing is. But I'd have to say probably my Yodam. I think I've had that for a really long time and I've wanted to paint it, but it's just been I haven't had the time to
Which Yodam? I know you have two.
I do have two. It would be the first one that I recently stripped and gave him a new weapon. So that's the one.
Mine is the Uragan tractor mule. I've painted the Katusha. I have not painted the Uragan.
Okay.
You love that thing, though. Why haven't you?
I don't know. I do love the Uragan tractor mule. He is wonderful for defense missions.
As much as we tell you not to love it, you love it.
He is so good. I took out a Marut with that Uragan. I don't want to hear your mouth.
I blame myself for this. All right. Matthew Lacombe has a question for us. Let's see. What would be our favorite medium infantry profile? With how often we talk about everything else, we don't really seem to give a lot of credit to medium infantry as Infinity players. So, go ahead. What's your favorite MI, guys?
Favorite MI? Okay, no. So I've got two. So my all-time favorite medium infantry is the Razyat. The Razyat is amazing.
That's fair. He is a good boy.
And my second favorite medium infantry, it's been very recently has become my favorite, is the Maverick. The Maverick is medium infantry.
That one's really good.
Yes, it is.
MSV-1, he can do his own smoke trick with an AP Spitfire or a light rocket launcher. Yes.
Fair enough. Nathan, do you even bring medium infantry in any of your lists that don't include Drew's?
No, the bolts. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Bolts,
Yeah,
100% are my favorite medium infantry. I loved them back when they just had bioimmunity going for them, and now that they've got... they lost the bioimmunity, but they have shock immunity and marksmanship. That's just such a cool ability, and immediately just elevates them to a position where... Everyone used to be like, "Oh, bolts suck. I like the models, but I don't want to play them." And now everyone's like, "Ooh, bolts are kind of crazy now, aren't they?"
Everybody's hunting for bolts too.
Yeah, because they're out of production. They made them good right at the moment when everyone wanted them. They left us.
Isn't that always how it is? Like the Azrael that I had to hunt down 2 of them, but I got them. I got them.
And then one secondary one real quick. I have to make a special mention for the Bugmari, because the Bugmari were they're one of the coolest toolboxy kind of medium infantry in Pano, and having the ability to have MSV1 and Mimetism really helps offset the fact that they're BS12, whereas all other Pano medium infantry is BS13. So they're a really cool unit, and I especially like the sniper with mine layer. That's a really awesome profile.
Fair enough.
Speaking of Bagmari, you could do the Acontecimiento overview, couldn't you?
I think so. Yeah, I think I could.
See, we're getting answers. This is awesome.
I have multiple answers because I must. The best medium infantry in the game is the Grenzer multi-sniper with marksmanship, and you know why.
Mm-hmm.
Do I need to say more? MSV1 and marksmanship. How's that? The honorable mention goes to the Morvas because they're just fun. I like them. I think they're great.
Yeah,
but my favorite... Yeah,
Morvas good.
Yeah. But my favorite is the Suckbin. Because, oh my god, Suckbin got so good. The 360 visors, they're wild cards, and they're not super expensive. Like, a lot of MI got really, really expensive with N4. Suckbin didn't really get that expensive. They're still in the 20-point range.
Because they still have the SMG profiles, don't they?
No, they don't. SMGs are a rarity in Haqqislam, actually. The thing is, their cheapest profile is the one you can't find anywhere, the heavy rocket launcher. It's 21 points.
I just realized, actually, the reason that I had been waiting to do the Acontecimiento overview was the Montesa Biker. And now that we've got that, I'm 100% can make that video. So, yeah, that'll be great.
Woo!
Thanks for the question.
Yes.
I think this is Austin.
Austin.
Oh, is it me? All right. From Bearded Lynx. That's amazing. That's a great name. What would you like to see change in the next ITS season and why? So no changes to core rules, but maybe scoring changes or a new deck of classified objectives.
Ooh.
I want to see...
You are the big guy here.
I have an answer, actually.
Well, Jonathan, if you have something real quick, go ahead.
I want to see limited insertion protection come back.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Fair. Yeah, that would be nice.
I think for me, the main things that I want to see more of in ITS is... I think that there are some old missions that have been around for a really long time and they could use some more shaking up. I think that the most fun that I've had in ITS is whenever we get some like crazy bonuses that change the meta completely. Like back when medium infantry got forward deployment, that 100% changed the way the game was played for a while. And just being able to shake up the meta in that way, like, it doesn't have to be a constant change that will happen forever to really change the way that everyone plays the game. So having those little one season bonuses that are thematic for the story and can really dramatically change everything, I think that's a lot of fun.
My intruders would thank the return of forward deployment.
So would the Scots Guard. The Scots Guard would love that. 2nd Battalion Scots Guard, hell yes.
I don't want forward deployment again. I just want something different.
Infiltration.
Infiltration.
Oh my goodness. You give them an inch, they take a mile.
Oh, every time.
Austin, did you have anything for this one, or?
No, not. because now that y'all had mentioned it, the 4 inches for the medium infantry, I think that could absolutely make a comeback, because then because that would just give the Marauders, because they got to keep theirs. They got to keep their 4-inch for USA. So let's increase that to 8 inches.
Oh
let's do
that.
that.
Let's not say we did.
All right. Well, I think that's the last question we have. So we are going to take a quick break and come back and do the drawing for the contest.
All right. We're back. This is our Wheel of Fortune. Who is going to win our giveaway for the free SWC box that's in production?
Yep.
There are
74.
close to 74 comments, because one guy commented twice. Thank you for that, for the 2 comments. You were great. We got 74 names, so let's see who's going to win. Give that thing a whirl.
Here we go.
Spins round and round. Where it stops, no one knows.
Oh!
All
right.
Sharon, you are our winner.
Congrats, man.
Congrats. Our Facebook page is going to be down in the description. Link it, like it, and message. We'll get you squared away, buddy. Too easy. We're glad that you won your free SWC box from Concilium Watch.
Yeah, and I think I'm in a Discord server with this guy, so I should be able to contact him pretty easily, which will be really great.
Sweet.
Oh, wonderful.
Do keep in mind, everybody, shipping might be a bit of a hassle, so we'll get it out.
Yes.
And Godspeed to the United States Postal Service.
We will do our absolute best to get it to you as soon as possible. All right,
guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed our Q&A, and congratulations again to Sharon. Like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. We're going to get videos out to you shortly. We love you guys. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Peace.